world, and welcome to another episode of Marcel Mindset TV. Remember, guys, click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share these episodes that we deliver on a weekly basis. All right. Today, all right, it's Monday. So Monday's focus is money. We have Money Mondays, and it's so important that you are aware of your money. You go to school to get an education to earn money. You work to earn money. Everything that you want costs money. Your food costs money. Your clothing costs money. Your housing costs money. So why are you not aware of your money? So today on the show, I got to tip my hat off to this guest because she's speaking about a very important topic, and she's doing such a phenomenal job on this topic. She's super passionate about what she's doing, and she's spreading information that can change the whole trajectory of your life, your family's life, and the future generations that are going to come from your last name. So it's so important that you get your pen and your paper out and take some extensive notes, because I got a special guest, Kamille Smith. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Marcel, I appreciate it. Everything you said is on point because, like, as you could see, the economy is going crazy with inflation, with groceries, and I know we're wrapping up Financial Literacy Month, but I'm glad that we're able to, about to dive in and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. Financially, just because Financial Literacy Month is over soon, we're going to continue with this. So,
exactly.
For our audience, who is Kamille Smith? What is FitnanceIQ, and what inspired you to start this brand?
The big question. So my name's Kamille Smith. I'm the founder of FitnanceIQ Services. And normally when people see the name, they get very intrigued and confused. But two of the favorite things that I love to do is working out. So fitness. And then I love money, finance. And the concept with the IQ, I point it here, is that normally when people think about their IQ, they're thinking about, doing test scores. Like if you're American and you do the stats, they're thinking about like, how do they manage their IQ or emotional intelligence? So I want to get the concept of what is your financial IQ? And a lot of people I've noticed their financial IQ is a little on the low side, but I'm working towards building that and helping people become financially fit. So that was the concept that I always had, was I want to help individuals and businesses become financially fit, and also straighten your mind, body, and bank account, because it's a holistic way of thinking. Once you're able to think about your finances, you're able to have a healthier mindset and then be able to stay fit.
I love that concept, and you're definitely changing a lot of lives with this brand that you've created. So, what does financial literacy mean? And is it important to be financially literate?
So when I think of financial literate, like we think about how when it comes to schooling or reading, a lot of folks don't really like reading, right? And when it comes to finance, people always run away from that concept. And I'm always like, wait, if you actually understand the basic fundamentals of personal finance or financial literacy, you'll be able to have a better mindset or a better approach and have a healthier relationship with money. Because I find that a lot of people, they run away from money because they have like financial trauma from their childhood, and then they see the cycle or the rat race that was happening in their family, and noticing like, well, this is what my parents or families used to. I'm just going to be going down the same road. But wait, now, because there's so much technology and information that's coming out, we have a better opportunity to be able to read about personal finance and get a better understanding about it. And the one thing I find is we're scared to talk about personal finance. So once we start to have those conversations, that's when we were able to get more knowledge into personal finance. So it's to me, it's important because once you understand how credit works, once you understand how savings work, once you understand how the banks love to take your money that you put in there and make billions or millions off of it, and they come back and give us peanuts. Like, oh, thank you so much, Marcel, for giving us $1,000. We're just gonna make $10,000 on it, right?
Yeah.
So once you understand that concept, then you'd be like, okay, the way that I had that relationship with money was unhealthy. So let me move forward and educate myself on how to have a better relationship with money. So that's the one, and that's a few things that I find that's important with being financial literate.
Right. And I agree with you 100%. And that's why I asked you to come on the show, because I find, these are things that we weren't taught, in school, which blows my mind. Right. I don't even want to get into that because that's a whole discussion, a whole podcast in itself, why we're not taught about finances in school. So
right?
Like someone like yourself, that's like educating, not only the Black community, but other people as well too. I'm like, I got to get you on the show because it's so important, what you're teaching, because like when you don't know something, you're ignorant, or when you don't know something, you just make all these mistakes. So, it's so good to have, yourself that does this financial education. And after the show, or once we're finished, I'll definitely get you to plug all your information. And, people
Absolutely.
need to get signed up with you yesterday. All right. Because this is important, right? This is our future.
True.
Okay. So what are some things parents can start doing to prepare their kids for their financial future?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question first. What's your background?
So my background, I'm a mixed breed, but the dominant one is Jamaican. So I'm just gonna go with Jamaican.
All right. So same here.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure you understand that when it came to growing up, it's like, don't worry about that. It's grown people's business. So it was always like that. Like when you're growing up, you always were like, don't worry about the money. This is grown people's business. But at this time, I stress, even my friends that are parents, like, listen, we have to have those healthy conversations with our children because they're watching you make the certain, I'm not going to say mistakes, certain choices, and it's going to affect them in the long run, right? And honestly, I think I was one of the lucky ones. I was able to get an allowance when I was growing up. So I understood that concept of like, okay, you get $5 every week, but you have to save a little bit because if you don't save it, it's all gone. And I'm like, okay, so that's one way that parents can prepare their children. Maybe no one's going to like the allowance aspect. They're like, yo, what are they going to get allowance for? For doing their chores? For clean their room? However, you want to teach them the concepts. Like I even tell some folks is like, you can have like 3 jars. One is for saving, one is for spending, and one is for like donations. You could think like that, or, do other ways that are, I like to say like play money. Because I used to like Archie comics, and I would always buy one at least once a week. But sometimes I would borrow my parents' money so I'd be able to get an Archie book, right? But I think preparing a child is really like giving them the basic, not terminologies because sometimes it's jibber jabber, but just giving them the concept of saving for a rainy day. Also, making sure that what they're gonna spend is within their means. So don't be spending. You got $5 and then all of a sudden you want to spend $10. No, we're not gonna do that, right? And also the best thing about like especially in Canada is there's a RESP. So that's the registered education savings plan. So you really want to utilize that because remember, the government actually gives you free money when you start with the RSP. So if you say you put in 2,500, they're going to give you 500.
Oh,
So that's 20% increase from
yeah.
the jump. But there's also, rules and regulations of where that money is going to be going, investing in. But it's for their education purposes only. So it can't be like, going on a trip when they're 18. So you really want to be mindful and then just teach your child like the concepts of, okay, I'm helping you not get into debt when you get into school because I'm not sure about you, Marcel, but OSAP or student loans was a big deal. And I find that a lot of folks, when it comes to like school loans, that's what actually hindered us in the long run. Imagine getting out of school, getting a degree, and you didn't have to worry about paying like $40,000 and taking years. I know people that have been taking years. And like honestly, when it came to me, I was just like, nah, I just want to get rid of this as quickly as possible because it just felt like I had a big boulder on my shoulders.
Yep.
So I honestly think that parents can prepare their children by just having a game plan. From the second you know you're about to have a child, you should kind of have a game plan and just teach them the things that you wish you knew before, right?
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. It's so important that you're educating your kids on these things because, like you just said, if they get to a point where, they got to take out a student loan, maybe they've been taught, you know what, instead of taking out a student loan, how about work part-time and pay that off while you're in school, so you're not coming out with, let's say 40, 50, some people even $100,000 in debt. And,
Hey.
You're just taking your paycheck and dumping it over there. And that stops you maybe from like investing or buying real estate or whatever the case may be. So I agree with you 100%. Don't be that parent that is afraid to have that conversation with your kid. Even if you're struggling yourself, be transparent, be open with them. Let them know this is an account. This is like you said, an RESP. This is a tax-free savings account, whatever. Just educate them so they have that knowledge. And even if they don't understand in that moment, maybe later on in life, it'll come back to them. It's like a subconscious programming, So
Exactly. And you want to know the funny thing is, like, I know folks, like I've done a stock market challenge with kids. So like about 13 to 18, and they were learning about the stock market. And one of the homeworks is that you had to have a family discussion with your family. And then the joke it was like normally like the parents would come in and they're like, wait, so you're teaching them about the stock market? We're like, yeah. Like, so like let's say Apple stock, they're like, so Apple stock, that's their virtually, that's the same price. We're like, yeah. They're like, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So it gives a great way to like, form a bond with the parents, and also they learn because they're watching like from behind. And also there are many programs that are happening that you can this generation now is at a prime time where they can actually start learning. Because there's programs for them.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's FitnanceIQ that you can reach out to as well. And I want to preface that with make sure you guys are going to people that are credible, because I know on the internet there are a lot of people out there talking about financial literacy and giving financial education, but make sure you do your own homework as well too, and you're looking into those people who are giving that information as well.
And you know what? I'm not even gonna knock those people because there's certain companies that we know that try to encourage people to join, but at the same time I like when they actually talk about financial literacy. Like I'm like, okay, at least you're providing a service and educating folks so they can get a better understanding, and that opens up people to actually learn more. So I don't even knock those like those gurus and all that things. As long as you're not like doing a master class where you're paying like $15,000.
There you go.
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
come on. Like, you can't afford it. Just start slow and then work your way up. But having a professional does help as well.
It definitely does. Yeah, that's right. I like that. So, is it better to pay off debt? Because we did speak a little bit about debt.
Yes.
Before you invest in things like, real estate or stocks?
So I'm going to tell you a funny story. So everyone knows what happened in 2020 while people were getting toilet papers and oranges and stuff. The stock market was also crashing. We'll say going down. Let's say not crashing, but going down. And I actually bought a stock that was about $2, let's say, about around the time or like in October, I bought it for $2. And I kid you not, and it's something that I call it my main thing. Right now, it's at $26.80.
Wow. $26.80.
Mind you, it was at 30 the other day, so I'm kind of cheesed that it went down.
Wow.
But imagine this, that I think it went up. Last time I checked, my Quest trade, it was at 900%.
Wow, that's a big percentage.
That is a big percentage. So that is, and I want to explain it like that because in the last 3 years, it's gone up 900%, right? So and I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion. So let's say that you only focused on paying off your debt. You would have missed out on an opportunity of 900%.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I say there's nothing wrong with paying off your debt, but also invest at the same time. Because one thing that I always tell folks is have the habit of saving. And then once you get the habit of saving, graduate into investing, because no matter what, while you're paying off your debt and your savings is going up, you see that?
Yep.
The scale? Kind of a scale. Your net worth is actually going up.
Right.
Right? So I would say have a set amount that you're going to be paying towards your debt and how much you're going to pay towards your savings, because at the end of the day, ain't no one going to save you if you don't have a safety net.
That's
and
right.
If I did not have a safety net back in the day, OMG, especially with the pandemic, I think a lot of people realize that it's very important to have emergency fund. It's very important to pay yourself first.
Yes.
Because listen, you're gonna have like Rogers. When Rogers pop down for a day, they're not gonna be like, "Oh, we're so sorry." Like, oh, you can't. You don't. Oh, you want to pay your bill or you want to pay your debt off? Oh, muffin. Here, we're gonna give you some money. No, they're not gonna do that. So you have to have a safety net for yourself as well, to be prepared for the worst, because we all know. And I'm not gonna swear on your show, but happens.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you definitely want to be mindful about saving and paying off your debt at the same time. But I also say if you're going to invest or get into real estate, make sure your debt is manageable. If you can't even go to bed at night because you're stressing about your debt, then maybe that's not the right time for you to invest.
That's right.
Because you're stressed. And the one thing with like financial trauma or stress is that you'll go back down that path of bad, or not bad, choices that are not healthy for your money. And we really want to, I really want to stress that, like if once you start stressing, all hell breaks loose.
That's right.
So I say it's okay to do both. It's just outweigh the options. It's always good to have different scenarios of like, well, mouse, and especially if you have OSAP, which is like what, 5% as of now because of like inflation.
Yep.
you can handle that.
Of
And
course.
but if you have like a credit card or a car loan and stuff, and that's like 20%,
20%. Yeah.
and you're only making like, say you have a GIC and you're only making 6%, then
Yeah.
maybe it's kind of ideal that you want to focus more on your debt.
Exactly.
But if you can get into investing wisely,
yes,
and find a stock that you'll be able to compound interest,
right.
then you could do both.
Yeah. That's great advice. Honestly,
Yeah.
great advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's something where a lot of people, they're confused about, you know, and like you just said, the $2 stock turned to $26.80
Hey,
today. So,
I was happy. Trust me.
right? and that 26.80 could actually pay off some of your debt, you know. So
Exactly.
you know, you gotta do your research.
Like I literally, I'll give the plug after. Like I talk about it all the time. There's another stock that I bought at $1 something. I'll say $1 something because I can't remember the exact amount, and it was like a water stock, and we called it piss water. It was a funny joke. And then all of a sudden, like literally 2 months ago, I just seen it spike up 60% to $4. I was like, kuya, what? And I was like, nah. I don't know if it's going to ever boost up to anything else.
Right.
So you know what? Let me cash out and get that profit, because there's nothing wrong with taking your profits and moving it to something else, or paying off debt as well.
Definitely. Okay, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
So
so if you stick to the end of the show, you know, you may get some stocks that you should be invested in.
Yes.
Stick all the way to the end, all right?
Exactly.
Stick all the way to
That's how I'm gonna reel y'all in.
I like that. All right. So we talk about credit score, right? Early in the show, we were talking about the credit score. So, you know, how important is our credit score?
You know, it's funny that in like North America, it's really important, because like I'm telling you, my parents came from Jamaica and they didn't know about credit or credit scores. Like when it had to do like building a home, it's brick by brick. Whatever money you're sending, that's how it goes, right? But like in Canada or the States, it's so crucial. Like you can actually, with a credit score, it deals with your job, it deals with your rent, it deals with what type of car insurance car loans, or just different loans that you're able to receive. Like it's really crucial to be mindful about your credit score. And there are different ways to, well, of course, paying your bills on time is one way to keep it up, but you also want to know like the 5 factors of, so it's like making sure you pay your bills on time, making sure you're not accumulating so many loans, because every time they give a soft check or a hard check, that affects your credit score. Also, the most important one, other than the paying it on time, is 30%. Having a utilization of 30%. That one's really important. The amount of loans that you have, and I'm having a brain fart with the last one. Oh, this one's usually the trickiest one. I think I'm really stumped right now. When it comes back to me, I'll let y'all know.
There you go. That's good. Yeah. So the credit score is very important. Like you said, you know, you want to buy a vehicle or maybe even rent, or you know, you're looking to buy property. So these are things where, you know, you need to make sure your credit score is in check. All right.
Exactly.
So those are 4 tips that you've given, and if the 5th one comes back, you guys will get it here on the show. All right. So, you know, that's coming. So, you know, what are 3 things you know now about money that you wish you knew at 18? Because we're gonna have a few 18-year-olds that watch the show, so you know, we want them to watch this and be like, you know, you're saying this now, so I should be doing this now.
So, you know, it's a funny thing. Because on my podcast, I also asked this question to guests, but 18-year-old Kamille, my gosh. So first thing is I was cool with the savings part. So I was down packed with savings. I always had that habit, but I didn't dabble into investing at the time. And I was like, shit. Shook, sorry. So I would say when you're the money that you're saving, start investing some of it. Also, get into real estate. I'm seeing a lot of folks utilize real estate as of late, and I just didn't get the concept. Or there was a time when we didn't have a home, right? We've been in this home for 21 years. So like I didn't get the concept. And also, I guess, the cliche of having a budget.
Yep.
But I was always good at that as well, especially in university, because I went to school for finance. So it's investing like into the stock market,
Yep.
investing into real estate, or if you couldn't invest in real estate, like the capital amount, then get into REITs. Yep. or different types of investments. And I would say have an investment with your loved ones, because especially if you're able to be on the same page, you'll go so much further than you'll ever know. And I know there's going to be some people that, I can't trust my family, then you want to like at least have a contract or something and just say like, this is the game plan. Like I want to see us all win. So at least do that. Like I remember like I was working on my CFP like when I was younger, and I was like, okay guys, so I just want to see your budget. Man, what? You want to see how much money I make? No, sir. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like come on, like this is actually us to build together. Exactly. So we can to move forward, because that's what most other families do, right?
Yeah.
They there's
together.
Some work together in Brampton, like,
Yeah, I get
touch up in one home, a bunch of families, and then be able to get assets, like actually get assets. Yeah. That's the one thing. And I remembered it. Length of credit history. That one's actually a big one, because if you actually close your longest credit, like let's say credit card or anything, that affects your credit score. So
like going down?
Yeah, it actually goes down for a moment, because it's like 15% of it. But like I always say, if you have an old credit card that's in good standing, just hide it. Hide it.
You don't have to
use it once in a while.
Right.
Used it on, I don't know, Netflix, the cheaper version, because price gone up and things like that. But yeah, 18, investing, have a set plan with the investments, and build real estate and building with your loved ones.
Yeah. And that's such great advice, because like you said, you have some communities that are all in one home.
Mm-hmm.
Like
literally
certain communities are saying, I can't trust this person, I can't trust that person. But we got to put all that aside and think about the future and build together, right?
And generational wealth.
And generational wealth. Think about building. That one common goal. All right, you gotta look at that. We need that in our community. We got the most potential, so let's really start thinking about that. Let's put our money together. Let's buy real estate together. Let's invest together. Let's grow together. If we got to all be in one home together, let's do that until we can get our own homes. We got to do what it takes, because other communities are doing that. And
there's a blueprint.
There's a blueprint.
We just got to read it.
We just got to read it. That's it. And I like how you said the investing thing for the 18-year-old, because, even if you're not making that much money, stocks are low barrier to entry. You can put $2 into a stock like you did, and that could turn into 26.80, right? So,
with good research.
With good research. Sorry, with good research. And reaching out to FitnanceIQ, all right?
Exactly.
All right. So financial books, podcasts, these are very trendy things right now, especially podcasting. It's very trendy right now. There's a bunch of, podcasts out there right now in America and in Canada and all over the world. So what are some financial books or podcasts you recommend people read or listen to?
So I got to do a shameless plug, obviously, because
100%, of course.
I have a podcast as well, Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. Yep. So the main thing that I found out was that there are many wonderful financial literacy or personal finance podcasts. However, they're mostly American based.
Yes.
And nothing pissed me off more was hearing 401k, Roth IRA. I was like, what the frig is this? And then obviously I did my research. I was like, oh, okay, RSP, TFSA, awesome. So then I was like, yo, I'm just going to make one for the Canadians.
Which is perfect. Right?
But I still, dabble into the American ones. And there are Canadian ones as well, but I listen to Earn Your Leisure
EYL,
or Market Mondays.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
I always like to say Canadian EYL, but there's also amazing ones. Actually, there's Journey to Launch, Clever Girl Finance, and there's a couple more. But I'll send it to you to put in the show notes.
Definitely.
But then the Canadian ones is Don't Go Broke Trying.
Oh,
I'm probably
that's Rennie. Rennie.
Yes. So big up her.
Big up Rennie.
Yes. Black is the New Rich.
Black is the New Rich. Okay. Yeah.
Corey Cash.
Corey Cash. Yes. Okay. I've heard of him. All right.
And then Move Her Movement. Nope. Move Her Forward. Sorry.
Move Her Forward.
So that's Edwina. She's amazing. She's been having so many Canadian folks and talking about different aspects. So I want to, give flowers to all those.
Yeah, of course. Big shout out.
Canadian Black Business, I believe. If I butcher it, I apologize.
No problem.
But I will I'll send you those links as well to push through. And books, have them beside me. Because So Budget Nisa is an amazing person. So I have her book, Get Good with Money. This one's really good. There's Broke Millennial. This one's American. But we have our Canadian one. I don't know if anyone remembers Debt Do Us Part. Oh, let's see. Boom. Debt Do Us Part by Gail.
Wow.
So she has Debt Free Forever. Take control of your money and your life. But you know what? One that I really digged was Tony Robinson's.
I've heard about that.
Yes, Money Master the Game, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom. And the funny thing about these, all of them, there's different genres or different ways of speaking to folks, is the Tony Robinson one, because I was affiliated with folks that are high earners, and the information that he has is the same concept that I learned, and I was like, there's so much things that we don't know.
Exactly.
That it's all in these books. So I even asked folks, if you don't even reading a book, sometimes it gets tricky, right? But having at least a podcast and listening, I was always when I used to do Uber Eats and stuff, I'd always listen to a podcast and be like, okay, educate myself. The one thing I have to start doing is highlighting though.
Yep.
Listen to something and highlight it again, because everything, all the blueprints that I mentioned are in the books, but you don't want to just read and just be like a zombie. You want to actually execute on what you've learned. So these books have helped me have different mindsets and also execute as well.
I love it. Execution is the key.
Yes. Right? Absolutely.
What you learn, make sure you guys are applying. Don't just be that person that knows all the knowledge but hasn't applied anything. And like you said, Kamille, all the information is really in the books. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. The information is in those books that you just given today. And I just want to also, like you gave flowers, I also want to give flowers to all those content creators and podcasters in Toronto, in Ontario, wherever they are. We're in the same industry. We got to support one another. I want to see them grow. I wish nothing but the success for all of them. Corey Cash, Rennie, and the other one was Edwin. Was Edwin, right?
Awina.
I wish you all success. I hope you all succeed in this industry, and we got to support one another. We got to show the not even just show the US, but we got to show the world that we have the talent right here in Toronto, Canada, in Ontario, Canada. In Canada, we have a lot of potential and talent here. So thank you for that advice. And you just said Uber Eats, right? And what came to my mind, that's a hustle. That's a grind, Sometimes
it used to be good. It used to be good. I don't know about now.
I don't know about now either, but it's a side hustle that a lot of people are really getting involved in. So it does allude to my next question. Do you believe in side hustles to grow your income, or what ways do you recommend people grow their income?
So there's a thing about side hustles. I have a love and hate for it because I don't even think I mentioned this before, but I actually do bookkeeping and taxes with personal finance, right?
Okay. Yep.
So when it comes to the tax season and bookkeeping, the side hustles. I appreciate it because I know that the economy it's getting harder for folks, and the only way, there's two options that you can handle this economy. It's either making more money or it's decreasing your expenses. And a lot of people don't, I shouldn't say a lot of people, it is more difficult as of late to reduce your expenses because everything is going up. So the only option is to increase your income. And some things, what people hear is like, side hustle, get this, that. And I'm like, all right, cool. However, I need you to be organized with your side hustle, because when tax season comes, you're going to have all these receipts to show what your side hustle did. And I know there's a lot of people like, oh, I don't do that, Cam. I just do it under the counter. And I'm like, ooh, I don't want to listen. No. I don't want to talk. Like, don't talk to me. But side hustles are the new thing coming. There's people that like to call themselves entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, boss lady, boss man, whichever it is. As long as you have, I want to think it this way. If you have a side hustle, especially like something like you have a hobby and it's a skill that is able to help the economy and everything, by all means, go for it. But just do it properly, right? You want to have a different bank account for your side hustle. Listen, you can go to RBC, BMO, Tangerine, whatever, to have a affordable separate bank account from your personal bank account so you can organize your things ideally. And there are many ways to have a side hustle. You can do Uber Eats. It's not that great these days. There's Instacart. There is dog walking, house sitting. It was snowing today.
Yeah.
There's shoveling. There's landscaping.
Yep.
There are, if you're good at making like shea butter, or you want to sell castor oil, I'm just, off the top.
Yeah.
These are things that you can have as a side hustle, and then potentially be able to, if I always say, keep that 9 to 5 until the side hustle can work for itself, or have multiple streams of income.
Yep.
And there are 7 streams of income that you can have. So there's earned by like 9 to 5. There is rental income. So that could be the REITs or property, right? There's capital gains. There's profit income. And this is from a business. So let's say, I used to see people sell phones like crazy. They'd buy a phone for like $500 and sell it for $1,000. That's considered a profit, right?
Yep.
There's also, my favorite is dividends income,
Yep.
right? You're getting dividends just being part owner of a company,
Yep.
right? That's the one I always stress because that's the easiest one that you can have. Or there's interest income. And interest income is not the ones where you lend people money and you never get it back. At least with peer-to-peer lending, technically speaking, you get interest off or a high interest savings account, right? And then there's royalties. You know what
Royalties.
time of the year it is. Mariah Carey time, right?
Yep.
So whether
Just
you make a song, ebook, online course, that is like royalties. It keeps
get
going.
paid. Yep.
So I really want people to think outside the box. Like you don't have to, be the next influencer or whatnot and see if you could get like brands from Fashion Nova and stuff. You can use certain skills that you have to create a side hustle, but just be organized when
Be
you do it.
organized. Yeah.
Because if you come to me with your bag of receipts, I am charging you a load. I want it organized.
That's good. So you can do your side hustle. Just make sure that you're organized. And you just dropped a bunch of game on the 7 ways that you can make money.
Mm-hmm.
So a whole bunch of games been dropped on this podcast. I don't know about you guys, but my sheet's full of notes. Full of notes. I'm learning as we go along here, and I'm actually going to go back and watch this episode myself a couple times. I'm going to listen to the audio a couple times. I'm going to program myself with everything you're saying here today because I want to get to that next level as well.
And I'll give you the secret sauce.
Okay.
So the one that was from $2 to $26 is one of my dividend stocks, and it's POU.to, Paramount Resources.
POU.
.to.
.to. You guys got that? POU.to. Get free
Don't
game.
say I didn't tell you nothing.
You're getting free game on the show. All right. So financial freedom.
Do your research.
Do your research. Of course. Always do your research. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what does financial freedom mean to you, and how can someone get on the path of financial freedom?
My gosh. Financial freedom to me means you get back your time.
Yeah.
You get back your time. You relieve stress. And you are just in a more clear mind, and you're able to just do whatever you would like. Whatever you're passionate about, you could just do it freely. So like, let's say you work a 9 to 5, but you have like, investments, and you're at a comfortable spot where you're like, hey, I'm okay if I want to take a break from this job because I'm secured, right? Or like, hey, you know what? I feel like volunteering in a different country or seeing the world.
Yeah.
I'm free to do that, and no one could tell me nothing. Right?
Yeah.
That's the ideal life of financial freedom to me, is being able to not have that peace of mind. Because nothing is more stressful than not knowing, like nothing's more stressful than living paycheck to paycheck and being swamped with everyday living.
Yeah.
Right? So I really stress that, and the path is just taking one step at a time to learn how to make right choices to get to that. And I know it's like a cliche, like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta save 10%. Trust me on this, if you actually get the discipline to save, whether it's weekly, whether it's bi-weekly or monthly, for a rainy day, first of all, and then graduate into making choices on how to invest, you'll see that getting to like $1 million is not going to take as long as you think.
Right.
Right? and because of like the rule of 72, I like to stress that is the rule of 72 is basically 72 divided by the interest rate, and that's how long it will take for your money to double.
Yeah.
Right? So think of it this way. How much is the bank giving us like an interest rate?
0 point something percent.
Say like 0.0000. So it's gonna take you 100 odd years just for your money to double. Let's say you have 10. Okay, I don't want people to say $10,000, Cam. Okay, let's say you have $1,000, right? It will take you 100 years and more to get $2,000.
Wow.
That's scary, right?
Yeah.
But right now, because of the inflation and people are worried about the debt, but it's kind of good because the savings has gone up. So I saw a GIC that was at least 6%. So I was like, hey, that's not bad, because when Tangerine had it for 3%, I used to be happy and everything, but then it went back to 1%, and I was like, what? But imagine with 6% every 12 years, your money will double, right?
Yeah.
Because with the 72 divided by 6. But then let's go into investing. Remember what I said? Within 3 years, I got 900%.
Yeah.
That's your money. My money doubled enough. Quick, right? But with the proper research. So like, I really want folks, that's why I say get the habit of saving and then change it into investing, because with that percentage of the rate of return on the investment, you'll be able to double your money in a matter of time. Like, I'll say on average, if you have something 10%, like the S&P 500, every 7.2 years, your money is going to be doubling. Wow. And I find that that's the safest way. If you don't know nothing about stocks or anything, invest into an ETF. Or the S&P 500, where it shows within like since it started, it's gone up at least 10%. Yeah. At least. Right? So, that's the safest way.
Amazing. Free game right there. Thank you so much for dropping that here on the show.
Try.
Yeah. So those are some ways you guys can become financially free. It is possible. All right. So reprogram your mind to believing that this is possible for yourself and your family, because, far too often we think it's not possible. And it is possible, okay? You just need to have the right knowledge, the right education from people like FitnanceIQ, who's dropping it. So make sure you go and follow her so you can get that information, that knowledge that's going to move you forward. So the show is coming to an end. I have one final question, and I just want to say it's been honestly a pleasure having you on the show. I've learned so much. I didn't know you prior to this, and I feel like I know you so well now. And I know
siblings.
Siblings, exactly. I know what you're all about. I know what you stand for. I could just feel your passion for financial literacy, and I could feel the passion for you wanting to grow and learn. And we could just see that you've invested in yourself. Because if you didn't invest in yourself, you wouldn't be able to come on the show here today and really, speak the way you're speaking and give the game that you're giving. So, you want to get to that level where Kamille's at or FitnanceIQ is at, then you're going to have to invest in yourself and invest in a coach as well, too. If FitnanceIQ is available, invest in her, invest in yourself, because that's going to help you, from reinventing the wheel, because there's already information that she has that she could already just tell you instead of you, wasting years and years and years trying to find it. She has the knowledge that can move you guys forward. All right. So mindset. All right. This is the final question. You could relate it to your money mindset. You can relate to mental health, whatever comes to your mind. What does mindset mean to you, and how do you work on your mindset?
The mind is a crazy thing. It could be your best friend or your worst enemy. And I like to say, like, as an entrepreneur, you sometimes have to go break through those bad days and be your own cheerleader to push through. Because like I said before, no one's going to save you but yourself. Yeah. But I I find when it comes to your mindset, if you think bad stuff, bad things will happen. If you think good stuff, you will push through and be able to thrive. And I think having a great environment around you as well helps you push through. Because like even you said, like me as your coach, I have mentors.
Yeah.
They're able to, like give me the game as well. Like if it wasn't for my mentor, I want to big him up, Kurt Henry. Jeez, like he taught me so much, and just I haven't got the most of it. Like I have to still work on the greed part when it comes to trading, but like having someone like on your team or like your environment, having a positive, healthy environment helps you with your mindset. Absolutely. And then just there's going to be times when you feel like giving up. Like whether it's like, I'm like, but I just don't know about this job or this relationship, but it's like you really want to balance yourself out, go through those feels, but bounce back after.
There you go.
And just do some meditation.
Yeah.
Or listen to some dancehall or in soca to clear your mind.
Yeah.
Balance,
Balance. There you go. Kamille Smith, aka FitnanceIQ, on the show. It's been a pleasure. Please plug, your information, how people can reach out to you yesterday, because they have to get, plugged into all your stuff and, follow you online and, watch your or listen to your podcast and, just get involved with what you're doing because it's great stuff. So how could they reach you?
Marcel, I appreciate this. So how they can find me is I have IG, FitnanceIQ. I have TikTok too. I don't use it too much. I'm trying to get used to it. I also have a website, www.FitnanceIQ.com, and you can also follow me on YouTube or Spotify with Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. Yeah. What else? LinkedIn. I have LinkedIn. It's my name, Kamille Smith, Kamille with a K. Yeah. Don't say it with a C. I'm joking. And Facebook, FitnanceIQ. That's how you can find me.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah,
as much as possible. I don't have like Pinterest and all that or I don't have, I say Twitter. I don't have Twitter, but I have what matters.
Yeah, exactly. You have all those social media outlets where people can reach out to you and get connected. All right. So it's been a pleasure to have FitnanceIQ on the show, also known as Kamille Smith. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Dropped a bunch of game, so much knowledge that you provided here today. Like I said, I'm going to have to go back and take more notes and just study this so I can move myself forward as well too.
And Marcel, I just wanted to say thank you so much for including me onto your platform and just sharing this gems and knowledge, because it's needed in our community, right?
Definitely.
And 100%. Shout out to like all the Canadian content creators, because
shout them out.
We got.
Yeah, that's all we got. Thank you so much. All right, remember guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button below, comment, and share these videos to someone that you think it can help them grow. Kamille Smith, FitnanceIQ. I wish you all the best, peace, and more success.
Thank you, sir.